Part 2, Unleashing Unconditional Love. Christ was one of the most radical teachers of unconditional love who ever walked this earth. Of the many times he demonstrated this in the Bible, perhaps the most powerful example was when he literally was dying on the cross, and one of the criminals beside him that was being crucified next to him said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." This guy had done nothing to earn squat. He was dying for his crimes. Yet Christ immediately replied, "Today you will be with me in paradise." No confession, no penance, no proof he changed, just instant, unconditional love in his final moments. Unfortunately, Christ's post death teachings of unconditional love were hijacked by religious authorities to create the ultimate conditional love story. God loves you became God loves you, but followed by an endless list of requirements and threats if one sins. When pressed, believers insist God's love transcends human failings, while simultaneously maintaining that this transcendent love includes eternal torture for those who don't reciprocate correctly. It's the theological equivalent of, "I love you so much, I'll lock you in my basement forever if you try to leave." The guy who literally flipped tables over religious commercialization became the centerpiece of televangelism and prosperity gospel. The teacher who said, "Love your enemies," became the battle cry for holy wars and crusades. The one who preached, "Turn the other cheek," got enlisted as the patron saint of righteous violence. If Christ had a publicist, he'd fire Christianity for completely destroying his brand. Again, it's worth repeating that he actually addresses how severely his message was distorted and offers clarity on his authentic teachings in the book Christ Returns, Speaks His Truth, the Christ Letters. The book's frequency and transmission were so high, again, that simply reading it catalyzed my first spiritual download outside of a transmission session. I spontaneously entered deep meditation and heard clearly, "You are listening. You are starting to get it." What followed was my first ever vision in meditation. Mother Mary manifesting with impossible colors we don't even have on our color spectrum, streaming from her radiant form. A breathtaking 10-second encounter before she dissolved from view. This deep encounter with the divine shifted my understanding of what genuine spiritual teaching should feel like. Here's a simple litmus test for any spiritual teaching or teacher or tradition. What's the fear to love ratio of what they preach? If unconditional love truly forms the foundation of existence, how much of that infinite acceptance do you actually feel radiating from your religion or teacher? Does the messaging ever make you feel small, worthy, or afraid? Does it require you to earn love through performance, compliance, or belief? Does it ever threaten consequences for not believing correctly or promise rewards for obedience? Your gut knows the answer. Authentic spiritual guidance feels like coming home to yourself, not walking on eggshells around a cosmic authority figure. Shannon, one of my master mentors, once told me. True spiritual teaching should expand your sense of worthiness, not contract it. This wasn't just my conclusion. It was confirmed repeatedly by spiritual masters who had deeply studied every major tradition and arrived at identical insights across Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, Sikhism, Sufism, and Christ's original teachings, not institutionalized Christianity, mind you. If the universe is truly non dual and all is one, remember, the Father and I are one, then every teaching that makes you feel less than is contradicting the very nature of reality itself. Campbell views belief in religious dogma as fundamental barriers to genuine spiritual inquiry. He said, "Belief is mostly a part of the problem. Faith is not open minded skepticism. Faith says, I can't stand to be skeptical about it. I need to know. So I'm going to have faith that it's this way." He said, "That's the same as saying, I believe that it's this way. Well, as soon as you believe that it's this way, now you're no longer open minded." Campbell argues that the moment we crystallize beliefs, we shut down our capacity for discovery and direct knowing. Unconditional love operates on this exact principle. It requires the same radical openness that Campbell advocates for truth seeking. This is what maximum frequency love looks like. It flows regardless of worthiness, belief, behavior, or whether you deserve it, recognizing the divine essence in everyone. Everyone. Furthermore, you can love someone completely while still being annoyed that they're a slob or always forget to put away the dishes. In fact, expressing that frustration honestly is often more loving than bottling it up and letting resentment build. And unconditional love doesn't mean becoming a doormat with no feelings. It means your love for someone doesn't disappear when they piss you off. You can say, I love you, and you're driving me crazy with this dish situation without contradiction. The love remains constant. Your emotional reactions to their behavior are separate. As you progress spiritually, you naturally become less reactive and more heart centered, creating greater space for love to flow. The question then becomes, how do we consciously shift into heart centeredness?